every day. You fight a battle most people don't even see, the war between impulse and intention. According to modern behavioral research, nearly 90% of what you do isn't chosen with clarity. It's a reaction. You speak before thinking, decide before understanding, and regret before realizing. That's not discipline. That's emotional slavery. The Stoics warned us about this centuries ago. They knew that freedom doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from mastering the self. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That is not a quote. It's a command, because the moment you let emotions take control, you hand your life over to chaos. Your reactions write your destiny. The man who cannot rule his reactions cannot rule his life. So, before you conquer the world, conquer your response. Every reaction you control is one step closer to freedom. Most people think they make choices, but in truth, emotions make them first. Your anger sends the message. Your fear avoids the opportunity. Your ego presses send before your reason wakes up. You've built a life driven not by clarity, but by reaction. That's why you feel tired, not because you work hard, but because you fight battles that shouldn't exist. The Stoics understood that the mind ruled by emotion is like a city with broken gates. Anyone and anything can enter. When you allow emotion to lead, you become predictable, fragile, easily controlled. But when you master your reaction, you become untouchable. Your emotions are signals, not commands. They whisper, but you decide whether they speak. Every time you pause before reacting, you train your brain to obey you, not your impulses. You are not a victim of how you feel. You are the architect of what you become. Every reaction you fail to master forges another link in the chain that binds you. You get provoked, you lash out, you feel regret, and the loop continues. That's not strength, that's captivity. The Stoics called this the enslavement of the soul, when external noise commands your internal state. You cannot live freely if everyone and everything has the power to move you. Seneca said, "No man is free who is a slave to his passions." Think about that. Every angry outburst, every emotional collapse, every impulsive decision is proof that something outside of you still owns you. The goal isn't to suppress emotions, it's to convert them into awareness. A warrior doesn't destroy his fire, he channels it. You either rule your reactions or your reactions rule you. Every moment of anger, envy, fear, or pride is an invitation, a test asking, who is in control here? Before power, before peace, before mastery, there is the pause. That single, invisible second between stimulus and response determines everything about your life. The average person reacts. The disciplined person waits. In that pause, your higher mind awakens. The Stoics knew this space as the birthplace of wisdom. Seneca said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." The pause isn't weakness, it's command. It's when the primitive brain surrenders to the rational one. Modern neuroscience proves it. When you take even 3 deep breaths, you shift control from your amygdala to your prefrontal cortex, from chaos to clarity. The pause is your weapon. It's what separates the emotional slave from the Stoic general. In that silence, your enemies lose power, your emotions lose poison, and your mind gains precision. Every pause is a victory. Every breath is a reclaiming of your throne. In a culture addicted to speed, slowness has become rebellion. Everyone wants to speak first, react fast, and look strong. But real strength hides in restraint. The Stoics understood that the faster you react, the weaker your control becomes. The mind that rushes cannot see clearly. The person who waits commands the room. Like a lion that doesn't flinch at every noise in the jungle, you must learn to sit still while the world panics. Waiting isn't passivity, it's precision. It's saying, "I will move when I choose, not when I'm provoked." The fool speaks to release tension. The wise man speaks to create impact. The pause, the slowness, the deliberate silence. These are the weapons of those who rule themselves. While others waste their energy on impulse, you conserve yours for victory. Remember this. Control is not loud. It is calm, deliberate, and absolute. You hand away your freedom every time you react without thought. Someone insults you, and suddenly they own your peace. A stranger's opinion ruins your day. One delay, one rejection, one careless comment, and your entire mood collapses. That is not strength. That is emotional dependence. The Stoics warned of this trap because it is invisible. Most people don't even see how enslaved they are to others' words. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. The world will always test you, But no one can steal your calm unless you give it away. Every time you choose not to react, you reclaim your power. You tell life, I am in charge here. Remember, freedom is not the absence of pain. It's the ability to stand unmoved in the middle of it. You don't win by fighting everything. You win by mastering yourself. Stillness is not emptiness. It's strength contained. The modern mind fears silence because silence exposes the truth. When you stop reacting, the noise fades, and what's left is who you really are. The Stoics trained daily to remain calm amid chaos, to stand like a mountain while storms raged around them. Stillness is not doing nothing. It's doing the hardest thing, refusing to be ruled by emotion. Anyone can shout, panic, or complain. Few can stay composed. That's why true discipline looks boring to the undisciplined. It's quiet, slow, methodical. When the crowd loses control, you stay centered. When chaos rises, you breathe deeper. Stillness is the ultimate form of control because it means nothing outside of you can dictate what happens inside. You don't need to react to prove your power. Your calmness is your power. The world fears the man who cannot be shaken. Every reaction you have is a reflection of what still controls you. Someone mocks you, and anger surfaces. Not because of them, but because pride still lives inside you. Someone ignores you, and resentment grows. Not because of them, but because you crave validation. Reactions are mirrors. They show the fractures you refuse to face. The Stoics treated emotion not as an enemy, but as a messenger. Epictetus said, when someone provokes you, remember, it is your judgment that provokes you. What burns inside you is not their insult, but your interpretation of it. If anger rules you, look deeper. What fear feeds it? What insecurity keeps it alive? When you learn to see your emotions as teachers, every trigger becomes training. Every insult becomes feedback. The world stops controlling you because you start learning from it. Reflection replaces reaction. That's how mastery begins. You cannot control what you are unaware of. Awareness is the first discipline of the Stoic mind, to see yourself clearly before the world does. Most people act first and think later. The Stoic reverses this. When emotion strikes, awareness steps in, like a commander surveying the battlefield. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? What does this reveal about me? These are not soft questions. They are weapons of self-control. Without awareness, you are driven by hidden impulses. With it, you reclaim authorship of your behavior. The difference between a reactive man and a disciplined one is not emotion, but consciousness. The reactive man is his anger. The disciplined man observes it. Every moment you become aware of your own emotion, you weaken its control. Awareness is the sword that cuts through illusion, and clarity is the first taste of freedom. Your greatest opponent isn't the world. It's the untrained mind that lives inside you. It's the voice that whispers, react now. It's the surge of ego that says, you must defend yourself. It's the fear that convinces you you're losing control. The Stoics understood that the real war is internal, not fought with swords, but with thoughts. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Yet most people spend their lives trying to control everything but themselves. They want peace, but they fuel chaos. They want freedom, but they obey emotion. To win this inner war, you must become ruthless with your own impulses. Every day, ask yourself, am I the master of my mind or its prisoner? If you don't rule your thoughts, they will rule you, and they will turn your life into a battlefield you can never leave. Emotions are not your enemies. They are energy waiting for direction. Anger can burn your life down, or it can fuel your focus. Fear can paralyze you, or it can sharpen your awareness. Pain can break you, or it can forge you. The Stoics never said, feel nothing. They said, master what you feel. Seneca warned that emotion untrained is fire without control. Beautiful, but deadly. The choice is simple. Do you let your emotions consume you, or do you consume them as fuel for growth? Every reaction is an opportunity to choose power over weakness. The mind that transforms emotion into discipline becomes unstoppable. You cannot stop storms from coming, but you can decide whether they drown you or drive you. The fire inside you isn't there to destroy. It's there to light the path, but only if you hold the torch. There are two worlds, the world outside you and the world within you. The mistake most people make is confusing the two. They let the outer world invade the inner one. Someone insults them, and suddenly their peace collapses. A setback happens, and their confidence dies. The Stoic draws a sharp line between what he can control and what he cannot. Epictetus said it clearly. Some things are up to us, and some are not. Your thoughts, your choices, your responses. These are yours. Everything else belongs to fate. The disciplined mind builds an invisible wall between stimulus and soul. You may not choose the storm, but you choose how to stand in it. When you master this separation, you stop bleeding energy into things beyond your reach. The world still moves, but your center does not. That's how you begin to live untouchable. Ego is the enemy of peace because it demands constant defense. It's the fragile voice that says, "They disrespected me. They ignored me. They should see my worth." The more you listen to that voice, the more you suffer. The Stoics knew that ego is the root of most emotional chaos. When your self-worth depends on others' opinions, you'll always live on edge. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You are just a soul carrying a corpse," meaning no insult can truly wound you because your essence lies beyond image or praise. Every reaction born of ego weakens you. Every moment you let it go, you grow stronger. Let others think what they will. Your worth is not up for debate. True confidence doesn't shout. It stands silent, calm, and unprovoked. The more your ego dies, the freer your mind becomes. Patience is not passive. It's power held in reserve. Most people equate strength with action, but the Stoics saw the opposite. True power often hides in restraint. When you wait, you allow emotion to fade and wisdom to rise. Seneca said, "He who hurries delays the things he desires." Every impulsive move costs clarity. Every deliberate pause builds it. Waiting is courage in disguise, the courage to let the storm pass without running into it. The undisciplined react to every wave. The wise stand still and let the water settle until truth appears. Patience is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. To wait when your ego screams for reaction is strength beyond measure. Remember, time always reveals what emotion tries to hide. The one who waits doesn't lose power, he gathers it. Silence is not emptiness, it's precision. In a world that glorifies noise, silence confuses the weak and empowers the wise. When you refuse to react, people lose control over you. Your silence says, "I am not yours to manipulate." The Stoics saw silence as an act of self-mastery. Epictetus taught, "Be silent for the most part, or speak only what is necessary," because the moment you speak from emotion, you lose authority. The moment you speak from calm, your words cut through like steel. Silence buys you time, and time buys you clarity. It's not about ignoring others, it's about refusing to speak from weakness. Silence protects your energy, guards your dignity, and exposes truth. Every time you hold your tongue, you remind yourself who's in control. Let the world shout. You remain still, deliberate, and unbroken. That's real dominance. Every emotion carries energy, but only the disciplined know how to transmute it. The Stoics were emotional alchemists. They turned pain into power, fear into foresight, anger into focus. You can't always stop emotion from rising, but you can decide what it becomes. Anger, when controlled, becomes clarity. Fear, when examined, becomes wisdom. Sadness, when accepted, becomes depth. The untrained mind wastes emotion by reacting. The trained mind refines it through reflection. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body," meaning, emotion is resistance, and resistance is growth. Don't suppress your emotions, shape them, channel them into purpose, creation, discipline. Your feelings are not enemies. They are fuel waiting for a master. The question is not, how do I stop feeling? The question is, how will I use what I feel to rise higher? When someone attacks you, don't fight the force, redirect it. The Stoics practiced what martial artists later called emotional redirection. Instead of colliding with aggression, they turned it into movement. Insults became opportunities for composure. Obstacles became exercises for strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When life pushes, don't push back, pivot. Use the momentum of opposition to sharpen your control. Someone tries to provoke you. Let their energy feed your focus. A setback arrives. Let it train your patience. You can't always change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Reacting wastes power. Redirecting multiplies it. Stop resisting everything. Flow with it. The Stoic doesn't absorb negativity. He transforms it. Every obstacle you face carries energy. Learn to turn it into strength. The moment something triggers you, there's a flash, that instant where instinct wants to take over. That's the moment that defines your power. The Stoics trained themselves to master that first impulse. Marcus Aurelius warned, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. The first feeling is natural. What comes next is your choice. When insulted, your first impulse screams, defend yourself. When frustrated, it says react. But discipline means pausing before emotion becomes behavior. You catch the spark before it becomes fire. Modern psychology calls this response inhibition. Stoicism called it self-control. The weak man moves when emotion commands. The strong man observes, breathes, and decides. Every time you interrupt an impulse, you train the mind to obey reason. That's how reaction becomes reflection, and reflection becomes mastery. Reality is neutral. Your perception gives it meaning. Two people can face the same event, yet one sees disaster while the other sees discipline. The Stoics mastered this mental weapon called reframing. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it." Reframing turns pain into purpose. It transforms every hardship into a lesson. Lost your job. That's not failure. That's redirection. Someone betrayed you. That's not injustice. That's exposure of truth. When you reframe, you regain control of the narrative. No event can destroy you unless your interpretation allows it. This is psychological jujitsu, taking the strike and turning it into advantage. You are not defined by what happens. You are defined by what you decide it means. Every challenge becomes fuel when seen through the eyes of reason. Control your interpretation, and you control your reality. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's seeing the world as it is, not as your emotions paint it. The Stoics practice detachment not to feel less, but to see more. When you detach, you create distance between experience and identity. You stop saying, "This happened to me," and start saying, "This happened." That small shift changes everything. Detachment allows you to respond from reason, not from wounds. Epictetus reminded his students, when something happens, remember, it had to happen that way. It doesn't mean you approve of pain. It means you refuse to let it define you. The detached mind observes without drowning. It feels emotion, but is not ruled by it. Detachment is emotional armor, not to hide from life, but to stand unshaken within it. You don't escape the storm. You simply refuse to let it sweep you away. The Stoics built their peace like soldiers building a fortress, one brick of discipline at a time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Men seek retreats in the country, as by the sea, in the mountains, but nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than within his own soul." Your mind is that fortress, but if you don't guard it, it becomes a prison. Most people leave their gates wide open, letting opinions, news, fear, and gossip invade their thoughts. A Stoic mind is different. It has walls made of principle and a foundation built on reason. You don't need the world to calm down. You need to fortify your inner world. When you rule your mind, no insult, loss, or chaos can breach your peace. Life will always attack from the outside, but nothing enters without your permission. Protect your gates. Your calm is sacred. Control is a burden most people carry poorly because they try to control everything except themselves. They want to command results, people, outcomes, timing, and in the process, they lose command of their own mind. The Stoics strip this illusion away. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." That's not surrender, that's strategy. Every ounce of energy spent trying to change the uncontrollable is stolen from your strength. You are not weak because you can't control life. You are weak because you waste focus where it doesn't belong. Master what is yours. Your effort, your thoughts, your response, everything else is noise. Once you learn this separation, the chaos around you becomes irrelevant. You no longer chase control, you are control. That's how true stability begins. Your thoughts are architects. They build or destroy everything you experience. What you repeatedly think becomes what you feel, and what you feel becomes how you act. The Stoics treated thinking as training, not daydreaming. Marcus Aurelius wrote daily to command his mind, not to express emotion but to sharpen it. He knew that undisciplined thoughts create emotional chaos. So, you must train your thinking like a soldier trains for war. When fear enters, counter it with truth. When doubt whispers, silence it with action. When anger rises, meet it with reason. You are not required to think every thought that appears. You are required to choose which ones stay. The mind left unguarded will betray you. The mind disciplined will protect you. Every time you choose a strong thought over a weak one, you build another wall in your fortress of calm. Learn to watch yourself as if you were a stranger. That's the Stoic's secret weapon. detached observation. Most people drown in their emotions because they mistake them for identity. The Stoic stands back and observes. I feel anger rising. I feel fear approaching. I feel pride creeping in. That small awareness breaks the spell. You become the witness, not the prisoner. Marcus Aurelius trained himself daily through this lens of distance. He reminded his mind, you are an observer of the drama, not its victim. Observation doesn't remove emotion, it regulates it. When you observe, you slow the reaction long enough to choose your next move. This is how mastery begins, not by suppressing emotions, but by seeing them before they control you. Step back, watch, assess. The more you practice this, the less life can surprise you. Nothing can shake the one who sees clearly. When the world attacks, the Stoic doesn't react. He responds. The difference is everything. Reaction is emotional reflex. Response is conscious control. Reaction is fast and foolish. Response is slow and surgical. You earn that power through training. Every insult, delay, or failure is practice for your response. Epictetus said, if you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. Meaning, the moment you let external things decide your behavior, you've already lost command. A Stoic response doesn't seek victory in words. It seeks victory in composure. You don't win arguments by shouting louder. You win by remaining silent while the other exposes their weakness. You don't prove strength by striking back. You prove it by staying unmoved. Let your calmness be the answer that confuses chaos. That's the discipline of the unshakable. Every reaction costs energy, and most people spend it recklessly. They waste strength arguing, defending, explaining, proving. The Stoic understands energy as currency. You spend it only on what returns peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you will find rest from vain fancies if you perform every act in life as though it were your last. That means no wasted emotion, no needless drama, no impulsive battles. Ask yourself before reacting, is this worth my energy? If not, walk away. Stoic discipline is emotional minimalism, stripping away every unnecessary reaction until only focus remains. Don't let petty things drain a powerful mind. You are not required to attend every argument you're invited to. Your silence is a withdrawal of energy from foolishness. Protect it like treasure. Every ounce of calm you preserve becomes fuel for what actually matters. That's emotional mastery in motion. Nothing anyone says or does can control you unless you give it permission. That's the Stoic law of emotional ownership. People can insult you, betray you, ignore you, but they cannot make you angry. Only you can do that. Epictetus taught, it's not the things themselves that disturb men, but their judgments about those things. Once you grasp this, you stop blaming others for how you feel. You take full responsibility, and that's where true freedom begins. Most people defend their pain more fiercely than their peace. They cling to anger because it gives them a sense of identity. But the Stoic refuses to be defined by emotion. He feels deeply, but he decides consciously. No one can steal your calm. You must hand it over. So stop surrendering your peace so cheaply. Own your reactions, and you own your life. When pain rises, don't fight it. Forge it. Every emotion carries momentum. You can either crash into it or steer it. Anger can drive destruction, or it can drive discipline. Fear can cause paralysis, or it can sharpen awareness. Sadness can break you, or it can deepen compassion. The Stoic takes the energy of emotion and bends it toward growth. Seneca said, fire tests gold, and adversity tests men. Meaning, emotion is your forge, and your character is the metal. You don't become unbreakable by avoiding emotion, but by redirecting it until it serves your purpose. When you learn to use pain as fuel, life stops intimidating you. Every insult becomes practice for self-restraint. Every disappointment becomes training for endurance. Every hardship becomes strength in disguise. Don't suppress what you feel. Transform it. The warrior of mind doesn't waste energy. He refines it. Life will burn you, that's certain. But the Stoic doesn't crumble in the ashes. He rebuilds from them. Like the phoenix, he turns destruction into rebirth. Marcus Aurelius declared, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every setback contains a seed of strength, if you refuse to waste it on self-pity. Most people pray for an easy life. The Stoic prays for resilience. When pain hits, you don't ask why me. You ask what now. You rise, not by avoiding the fire, but by walking through it and allowing it to refine you. Every betrayal teaches detachment. Every loss teaches gratitude. Every failure teaches wisdom. The phoenix doesn't rise in comfort. it rises through chaos. Let every burn become your transformation. You are not destroyed by difficulty. You are reborn by it. Pain is not punishment, it's instruction. Every wound has a message, but most people never stay silent long enough to hear it. The Stoics didn't run from pain. They studied it. Seneca wrote, "Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor strengthens the body." Pain shows you where you're still weak, where ego still lives, where patience has not yet matured. It exposes the illusions you've built your peace on. When life hurts, ask, what is this teaching me that comfort never could? Pain humbles arrogance, deepens awareness, and sharpens gratitude. It breaks the illusion that you control everything and replaces it with wisdom. Control is internal, never external. The undisciplined curse pain. The Stoic thanks it. Because every time you endure with strength instead of resentment, you become more than you were. Pain doesn't end you, it forges you. Struggle isn't proof that you're failing, it's proof that you're growing. Every challenge that frustrates you is shaping you in ways comfort never could. The Stoics didn't chase an easy life, they sought a strong one. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, the universe is change, life is opinion. Meaning, life will always shift. But you decide what those shifts mean. Struggle reveals the parts of you that still need discipline, the habits that still need breaking, and the fears that still control you. Don't curse your challenges, study them. Every obstacle carries a lesson written in discomfort. The weak resist it, the wise read it. When you learn to see struggle as preparation, pain as purification, and effort as evolution, you stop asking for comfort and start building character. Growth is not pleasant, it's forged under pressure. Exactly where you become unstoppable. Every event in life presents you with two paths, reaction or response. One is automatic, emotional and blind. The other is deliberate, calm and powerful. The first drains you, the second defines you. The Stoics called this the moment of choice, the space where freedom exists. Viktor Frankl echoed this truth centuries later. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose. That space is where your entire life is built or broken. Every insult, every disappointment, every unfair turn is an invitation, not to lose control, but to rise above it. You can't always choose what happens, but you can always choose how to interpret it, how to respond, and who you become because of it. The world may test your patience daily, but only you decide whether to react or to rule. Calm is not a mood, it's a weapon. It's what separates those who crumble from those who conquer. The Stoics treated calmness as an act of strength, not serenity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Calm begins when you stop letting your imagination exaggerate the problem. The storm is never as big as your mind makes it. Breathe, observe, reframe. While others panic, you remain steady. That steadiness terrifies chaos because it cannot control you. Calmness doesn't mean indifference. It means unshakable focus. It's the eye of the hurricane, centered, silent, powerful. Every breath you take in calmness is a declaration that you will not be mastered by emotion. You rule your mind. You rule your moment. That is what makes you unbreakable. Discipline isn't built in crisis. It's built in repetition. The Stoics trained their minds daily so that when chaos arrived, they were already prepared. Marcus Aurelius journaled every morning. Seneca reflected every night. Epictetus rehearsed hardship in his thoughts so he'd never be surprised by pain. You must do the same. Each day, confront your mind before the world does. Ask yourself, what do I control today? What will I refuse to react to? This daily check is how you sharpen the blade of awareness. Without practice, your mind will drift back into weakness. Self-mastery is not a single victory. It's 1,000 small ones. Every moment you stay calm instead of angry, focused instead of distracted, disciplined instead of impulsive, you are training the muscle of control. Do it every day until control becomes instinct and peace becomes your default state. Weak minds chase comfort, and comfort breeds chaos. The undisciplined believe peace means ease, but the Stoic knows peace means power. A weak mind reacts to everything. A glance, a comment, a delay, it's pulled like a puppet by circumstance. But a strong mind is forged in discomfort. It embraces the grind, the rejection, the silence, because those moments carve strength from softness. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The undisciplined are slaves, not to rulers, but to their own impulses. Every time you explode in anger, chase approval. or fold under pressure. You hand over your throne. The world doesn't need your reaction. It needs your composure. Build a mind so strong that peace becomes your rebellion. Weakness seeks escape, strength seeks endurance. You are either ruled by emotion or you are ruler of it. There is no middle ground. Endurance isn't just surviving. It's advancing while everything tries to break you. The Stoics saw endurance as the highest proof of strength. Anyone can act disciplined when life is easy. The test is staying composed when everything collapses. Seneca said, "Fire tests gold. Misfortune tests brave men." Endurance means standing tall when emotion begs you to fall apart. It means walking through pain without asking the world to soften. Every trial you face is training, a chance to build the resilience most will never touch. You endure not because you enjoy suffering, but because you understand its purpose. Life will not always be kind, but it will always be honest. The storms reveal what comfort hides. Endure with patience. Endure with dignity. Every moment you stand firm. You prove to yourself that no external force can break the will that lives within you. The unbreakable mind doesn't seek an easier life. It seeks a stronger self. The Stoics knew that resilience isn't built in comfort. It's carved in conflict. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, and loss, yet he ruled his mind as firmly as his empire. Why? Because he understood this. The mind that can endure anything cannot be defeated by anything. Strength doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you act with discipline despite what you feel. The unbreakable mind is forged through repetition, every challenge endured without collapse, every emotion faced without surrender, every reaction resisted until calm becomes instinct. When the world tests you, it's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to reveal what's still untrained. Remember this truth. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. And every storm that doesn't break you builds you into something unstoppable. To govern others is influence, but to govern yourself is freedom. The Stoics believed that self-mastery is the highest form of leadership, because if you can rule your thoughts, no one else can rule your life. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet his true battle was within. He wrote, "You become what your thoughts make you." That's the essence of sovereignty. Control your mind, and the external world loses its power. Self-governance means refusing to be moved by flattery or insult, success or failure. You stay balanced when praised, calm when attacked, focused when tested. It's not arrogance, it's inner order. When you command yourself, nothing external can dictate your peace. The disciplined man doesn't chase validation or revenge. He guards his mind like a kingdom. True kingship begins there, with the crown of composure and the throne of control. Mastering your reactions is not a single act. It's a way of life. Every pause, every breath, every moment of restraint is a declaration of power. The Stoics didn't teach theories. They lived systems for unbreakable living. You now hold those same tools: the sacred pause, the mirror of reaction, the fortress of peace, the art of redirection, the Phoenix principle. These are not ideas to admire. They are practices to repeat until discipline becomes your nature. Life will keep testing you. People will provoke you. Circumstances will shake you. But remember, no one controls you unless you hand them the keys. The mind you command is the life you create. So breathe, observe, respond with wisdom, not impulse. Rule your emotions before they rule you. Say it and believe it. I pause. I breathe. I choose. Because mastery of reaction is mastery of life itself. Every moment of your life is a test of mastery, not over the world, but over yourself. The Stoics didn't wait for perfect conditions. They built strength in the storm, and so must you. Don't just listen to these words, live them. Pause before reacting. Reflect before speaking. Choose discipline over impulse. Each decision you make from calm instead of chaos rewires your mind toward power, purpose, and peace. If this message reached something inside you, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflection might be the wisdom someone else needs today. If you found value here, gently tap like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who's ready to grow stronger from the inside out. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for walking this path of discipline and clarity. You are the master of your mind, and that is where freedom begins. You've been watching Stoic Motivation,